What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Sports with Warbs. Today, I'm excited to bring you the official NHL return to play rules, divisions, playoffs, everything going on. Yesterday and today, rules have kind of been trickling out about what's going on with the official return to play. It's about as official as it gets. The last time I made the video, we were kind of talking about what could potentially be signed off on and what's working. And a couple of things changed. Minnesota and Dallas switched divisions, but for the most part, everything is set and everyone is ready to get back to playing hockey. The NHL accounts have started tweeting, which means that they got the word it's official. So here we are to talk about the official rules. So today I'm just going to kind of go over exactly a couple of things about what's going back with the return to play. And then I'm going to give my first thoughts on the divisions, playoffs, and basically who I think is going to make it from each division. Just a quick look. I haven't really done the research yet into who exactly I think will make it. Maybe I can make a video on that as the season gets going. But this is just a first look who I think will be in the playoffs this year with the new format. So starting it off, the divisions. So we are split into 4 divisions like usual, but this time we have the East, West, Central, and North division. So I'm pretty sure you guys can guess exactly what the North division will be. That is obviously the Canadian division. Then we've got the East division, which is basically, I'll put it up on the screen, but it's all the teams to the East. Pretty simple. A lot of them are pretty close, so it was easy for them to do that. Then we got the Central, a lot of the teams in the middle. You get the Florida teams in there. You get the two teams that went head to head for the Stanley Cup last year with Dallas and Tampa. So the Central Division is looking pretty good. And then you have the West Division, a lot of the teams from the Pacific minus the Canadian teams and a couple new teams thrown in there. It's the West side, and then obviously the North Division with all the Canadian teams. They will only be playing within the divisions. You're going to be playing a lot. You're going to be seeing a lot of the same teams. It'll be exciting, especially if you're a fan of a Canadian team, to see just Canadian teams play. And then with the playoff format, we'll see a team, at least one team, go deep into the playoffs. Teams in the North Division play each other 9 to 10 times because it is the 56 game schedule and they have one less team. So they're going to play each other in the 9 or 10. So I think Calgary and Edmonton play each other 10 times. I know that at least. So I think they're probably going to try to do some rivalry matchups for those extra games. And then you play everyone else 9 times. And then for the other divisions, the ones in the States, each team plays each other 8 times. It's pretty simple there. The Canadian division actually isn't set in stone yet. There's still a few hurdles to be crossed. Of course, nothing is easy during these times. So BC, Ontario, and Quebec have not given the go-ahead yet that they're going to allow players to be coming in and out and playing like that. But like I said, a lot of the teams are talking about the schedules. The soft schedule got released, which means like they're starting to give the teams kind of who they're going to be playing, which is how we know Calgary and Edmonton will play each other 10 times. So they seem confident it's going to happen in one way or another. One alternative to them playing in the provinces is using the Edmonton hub bubble, which the World Juniors is playing in right now. The return to play played in that before. So it'll be interesting to see where they kind of go with that. But I'm fairly confident the Canadian division will be happening, which is why I felt it was right to make this video. When it comes to fans, it basically just goes state by state. And in Canada, they barely are going to allow the teams to play. So I doubt they're going to be having fans there anytime soon. But places like Dallas, they said they're going to have 5,000 fans socially distanced in there. So it could happen, kind of just like the NFL, where it differs on where state to state. So moving on to the exciting part, the playoffs. This playoff format is going to be something we've never seen before. It's going to be highly contested, but it'll also be highly exciting. The season's going to be done May 8th. It's 16 teams, best of 7 series. Okay, so here's where it gets a little complicated. The first 2 rounds are interdivisional, which means the first 16 teams will make it, 4 from each division. Then it'll get cut down to 2, which makes we're down with 8 teams. And then that will get cut down again from the division, which means we'll have 4 teams, 1 from each division, move on to the semifinals and the second part of the playoffs. Okay. So then wherever those teams are seeded based on regular season stats, that's where it'll go. So the first seed will play the 4th seed, and then the second will play the 3rd, and then the winners of that will go into the Stanley Cup Finals. So It really is like two parts of a playoff. You play within your division. If you can somehow make it out of there, you're in the Elite Four, and then you play the semifinals and then the Stanley Cup Finals. So it's I think it'll make sense as the season moves on. Right now, it seems a little complicated, but that does mean we could have an East versus East team in the Stanley Cup Finals, or West versus West, for the first time in a long time, because if they are separated and they both managed to win those semifinals based on seedings, it won't matter which division they were in beforehand. So these are just my first look playoff, who I think is going to make it from each division. And when I rank these divisions, it's not in any particular order. These are just the four teams that stood out to me right off the front that I thought would potentially make it. So keep that in mind. I don't know. I'm not sure who's finishing first, second, third, or fourth out of these teams, but this is just who I think will be in that playoff. These might switch over the next little bit. I'm not sure. But in the East Division, I've got Boston, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, and New York Islanders. The New York Islanders is maybe the one that I was the least confident about. There's a lot of good teams vying for that last spot. The Capitals, Rangers, and Islanders will probably be fighting for that fourth playoff spot. And then for the Central, I've got the Hurricanes, the Lightning, the defending Stanley Cup champions, Dallas, the team that played them in the Stanley Cup Finals, which is crazy because that obviously means they're in the same division and they would not be able to play each other in the finals again. And then finally, Florida. So this division is also pretty tight. I think the Blue Jackets could make that spot. I think the Predators could make that spot. That last playoff spot will be hard to fight for. I mean, it seems like that'll be like what it's like in every division. The top three, I think, is pretty set in Hurricanes, Lightning, and Dallas. But Dallas also had some big injuries, so I'm not even sure about them. Then the West Division, I've got the Avalanche, the team that is the heavy favorite to win the Stanley Cup this year. I think obviously they're going to make the playoffs. The Golden Knights, the other team that's tied for second in odds to win. The Blues, the 2019 champions, and then the Coyotes. So this was another division where the fourth spot was really hard to predict. I'm fairly confident in those top three, but then for that final spot, it's going to be the Coyotes, Anaheim, LA, San Jose fighting for it. So I think it could really go any way. None of those teams really step out to me as a great team. And then finally, the North Division, the Canadian division, I've got the Oilers, the Leafs, the Jets, and the Canucks. This is another one where I wasn't sure if I should put the Jets, the Canucks, or the Flames in, or the Habs. I mean, this I think will be the hardest contested division. There's not really any bad teams. Ottawa is obviously not the greatest team, but they're looking a lot better than they were last year. More mature team. They got a new goalie. So it'll be interesting to see. I mean, these divisions are pretty tight, and four from each division kind of changes it up. We weren't sure how it was going to go, but that's how it looks. We'll see what happens. That's kind of just my first reaction to these divisions, who I think the top four are, who I think will make it. But hockey will be back, like I said, January 13th, 56 games. Thank you, everyone, for watching. I'll have more videos soon, and I'll see you later.